hands.
This is a guy who...
I hate wrestling.
You don't like wrestling, and yet you were just absolutely captivated by this matchup.
Edge of my seat. It was one of the best matches I've seen.
That was...
and it was great. It was at the end of it. John Cena, he goes off. He tries to show Kevin Owens some respect. He hands him his NXT championship. And then Kevin Owens goes off, kicks him out of the ring.
Absolutely levels him.
It levels him with the boot, and then gives him that powerbomb onto the ring apron, which he has used to lay out Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, Alex Riley, and a couple others. What kind of ticked me off about the whole thing, though, was that John Cena was, he walked to the back.
Yeah.
And, everyone who I've mentioned, Sami Zayn, Adrian Neville, who's just going by Neville now, Alex Riley, they all had to be stretchered up, but John Cena...
And no, not level long bottom.
No. Which, both you and my wife kind of just thought, is he
Have you not seen his face? I'm sorry.
I will admit that he kind of looks more like that house elf that they had in
Adobe.
Seriousness. But that's kind of ticked me off. That John Cena kind of walks back. Now, mind you, he was limping to the back, and he needed 2 referees to help him get to the back.
But there were some words that were said that kind of made me question on the legitimacy on how he was injured, and it was the referees asking if that was how it was supposed to go.
Did you actually hear them say that?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't hear them say that. Mind you, my 2-year-old son was, trying to get my attention.
You could hear the referees asking Cena if that was how it was supposed to go, and you could hear a clear no, it wasn't. So I honestly do believe John Cena is quite possibly injured. We'll probably know more in the next few days.
Absolutely. You got any other thoughts on this match, Mike? I'm sorry, I've kind of been...
We're used to only being the two of us, so I apologize. Our guest hasn't been speaking as much. That's on us.
Yeah. It's okay, you guys. I understand this is my first time doing this. I appreciate this very much. I don't got too much to say other than it was a really great match. I've seen a lot of great matches on the past. There's been so many. I wish I could name a bunch.
Well, the thing is, you have been a wrestling fan for over 30 years. About that. I've been a wrestling fan almost 30 years. You've actually been a wrestling fan for a little bit more than 30 years.
I've been a wrestling fan for the last half hour.
I've pretty much been a big wrestling fan since the early 80s, around... Maybe 1980, 81, 82.
Wow, that's more than I've
just to
been
let you know, back then, WWE was not the juggernaut it is now, and the American Wrestling Alliance was probably the best wrestling promotion at that time. I'm just trying to give some idea of just how much knowledge and how much experience Mike has with professional wrestling. Okay,
we're going to move on to the next match, which we're not going to spend much time on because honestly, it was probably the most boring, useless match I've seen in a while. The Tag Team Championship between New Day sucks and Primetime Players. Obviously New Day isn't going to win.
Well, here's the thing, particularly since Kofi Kingston was taken out, and honestly...
Taken out?
During the Money in the Bank matchup. And the best combination of a New Day is Kofi Kingston and Big E, and Xavier Woods is kind of, the third wheel there. He kind of, he became a tag team champion just simply because of the Freebird rule that these guys have put in force. If you don't know what the Freebird rule means, what it means is that when there's a team of more than 2 members, any 2 members of that team can defend the championships. And
in the case of New Day, all 3.
All 3, which they did back at Elimination Chamber. Because, they kissed up to the Authority.
Yeah, they basically let Triple H bend over and they kissed his royal butt.
Well, they actually went off and helped the Authority out.
Okay, fine, they licked his royal butt.
Oh, wow.
I would apologize for Captain Fizz, but honestly, I'm not going to waste my breath. Okay,
it'll happen.
So what happens is Primetime Players, they win the Tag Team Championships, which is big. I mean, these guys were originally supposed to win the Tag Team Championships 3 years ago, but WWE fell in love with the combination of Kane and Daniel Bryan because of anger management skits they were doing. So instead,
Daniel Bryan, please come back.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, please come back. At least it's good that he will be a part of the new Tough Enough series.
Absolutely.
So he's not going to be out of the public eye. But going back to this, actually, so we're speaking about Daniel Bryan in an interesting way. Darren Young, who is one half of the Primetime Players, of course, now becomes the Tag Team Champion. This now means that every member of the original cast from the NXT Elimination reality series has won a Tag Team Champion, or has won a championship, except for one guy who was released from the company. I'm trying to remember what his name is.
Obviously, if you can't remember his name, he's not really worth mentioning.
Yeah, so, but I just think it's kind of interesting that now every member of the first season of NXT has won the championship, with the exception of this one guy. And I will try to, if you can remember what this guy's name is, send me a tweet at that mask guy
or at Fizz
Mask Show. Yeah. So
we would love to hear it because we're kind of pulling blanks. Any final thoughts before we move on to the next, the last match, Mike?
I'm happy for the Primetime Players. I mean, it's their opportunity. They're finally the Tag Team Champions. I think they'll...
And these guys are, honestly, they are very hilarious.
Yes, they are. The fans get into it. I love the little side dance.
The millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars.
I'm just happy to see New Day finally losing it.
But here's the thing.
Don't care. Next.
Okay, so now we're actually, before we move on to this matchup, I want to get your guys' thoughts on the package they did for the late American Dream Dusty Rhodes.
Words don't explain it. I think what they did with everyone there doing the tribute for him was amazing.
Yes.
Absolutely moving.
Yeah, that was a great package.
Having everybody, even the ones who aren't really wrestling at this moment, standing there, paying tribute to the late Dusty Rhodes, I think means a lot more to anybody than anything. It shows complete joining of the WWE family, the universe, everybody standing together to pay tributes to probably one of the guys who has helped build what we have today.
Exactly. And for those people who have the WWE Network, which in the United States is just $9.99, and here in Canada it's $12.99 through Rogers and Bell.
Shoot.
Anyway, after Monday Night Raw tomorrow on the WWE Network, they are going to be doing a special on the life and career of the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. So if you have the WWE Network, encourage you to check that out.
$9.99.
That'll be cool.
$9.99 or $12.99 up here in Canada, because hey, everything costs more here in Canada.
Hey, but at least we're not like Texas. We pay more, they're just big.
Everyone in Texas, I completely apologize, and I mean that. Okay, so
the very last match, the World Heavyweight, I promise we won't take any more of your time. I apologize to everyone in Texas. Next.
The World Heavyweight Championship matchup and a ladder match by Seth Rollins versus
Dean Ambrose.
And the background of this, Dean Ambrose got screwed out of the World Championship Elimination Champion.
Screwed was not the right word. He got ripped off. Absolutely.
It looked like he had won the matchup, but because Seth Rollins had pulled the original referee in the way of an attack.
I don't agree with that move. I don't.
I mean, but the thing is, the original referee wakes up and says, "Hey, he moved me." So, I mean, that in itself, that was a dusty finish. That is the very example of a dusty finish. Is Dusty Rhodes? We love you, but the whole Dusty Rhodes.
But if you look at the video, it does not really look like he pulls the referee as much as they're trying to say.
Well, I mean, I don't know what you're watching. I mean, what are you? Are you like the JBL of this? What do you think?
Quite possibly. I disagree with you. I don't care what you're saying. I disagree what you're saying next. I disagree what you say tomorrow. I disagree.
Okay, so, but anyways, after the matchup, Dean Ambrose grabs the championship, stole the title, went to New Orleans, had several pictures.
I think included one with a prostitute.
Quite possibly. Although I have heard that he might be dating Renee Young, so I don't know how she would have felt about that.
Yeah, but it's all a setup anyway.
I know. But anyways, and what this led was, Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns both teasing Seth and how he needs the authority to win a matchup. So he went off and kind of ostracized everyone in the authority.
And no, that wasn't an ostrich.
Dude, seriously.
I just had to make Big Mike laugh. As anyone who watched our previous show, when we mentioned about Big Mike's laugh, there it is, in the flesh.
It doesn't actually sound like it's getting picked up by the mic.
Anyways.
Oh, my goodness. Okay,
we're having fun in the studio here.
We are having absolutely fun here on the 7th moon of Thunder, absolutely.
Hey, 6th moon of Thunder. Thunder!
Yeah. You know what? This show's actually more fun when we don't drink.
You know what? I kind of agree, but at the same point, screw you. Okay, who did you want to win?
Well, like I said, I was pulling for Dean Ambrose. He tried all his best. I mean, he just kept coming back. I mean, the guy has got a lot of guts.
It reminds me of, and this is where I start to feel old, the Hardy Boys. Hardy Brothers.
You think the Hardy Boys? To me...
Well, no, because they were always in the extreme matches. Almost every match they did was extreme match.
Well, the thing is, Dean Ambrose, before he came to WWE, he was a part of a company called Combat Zone Wrestling. I think some fan actually tried to start a CZW chant.
Which really failed.
Actually, originally when I heard it, I thought it might have been an ECW chant, which made no sense.
Is a perfect sign of his age catching up to him.
But anyways, and anybody who's familiar with Combat Zone Wrestling knows that they definitely have some very hardcore matches, some death matches. So, I mean, he's willing to go off and take these crazy chances.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they both pulled it off tonight. As much as I hate Rollins, it was one heck of a match.
It was.
It was a heck of a matchup
too. I mean, he showed a lot of guts too.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins.
Okay. Mask. You have something to chime in with.
No, I was just making it. You went off to hit me.
Well, you know what? He was talking, you were talking. His points made more sense than yours, so I hit you. And he's too far.
Oh, no, I tend to get overly excited when we talk about professional wrestling. Anyways.
Well, so I tend to try to ignore it.
I do, too. This is actually a lot of fun.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah,
we're having fun in the studio. No one's drinking, no one's hitting each other. Well, that's a lie. I already hit him.
But, honestly, I mean, I'm a huge Dean Ambrose fan. I've actually have stated in the past that I really feel that Dean Ambrose has got the best qualities of Roddy Piper and William Regal.
Oh, yes.
Which is a huge compliment since these two are a couple of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
I think, honestly, with that analogy, though, you have to throw in the badass attitude of The Undertaker.
I'm not sure I'd quite go that far.
You see the resemblance, the way he dresses, the way, he throws himself around, where he's not afraid to... step up. He's not afraid to stand out. It does remind you of the original Undertaker who, had that badass redneck mentality.
Well, the thing, though, the difference between Undertaker and Dean Ambrose is Undertaker would save those... Well, no, I think Dean Ambrose is going to be a legend. I also believe that somewhere down the line